Hey guys, it's Chelsea. I'm at the studio right now getting ready for the Chelsea Krost show. I'm super excited. We have a lot to prepare. Hey guys, don't worry, that was a staged assault. But every 2 minutes, someone is sexually assaulted in the United States. Just this week, 3 women that were abducted over 10 years ago were found alive, and we're so happy that they're back with their families. Would you know what to do if you were approached by an attacker? I certainly would not have until Tracy and Charlie Vega taught me. That was Charlie in the video, and he's here now with his wife, Tracy. They are the founders of Simple Self-Defense for Women. They specialize in self-defense for women from ages 9 to 91 with a focus on how to simply escape an attack, not stay and fight. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you.
I think it's so important to empower young women with the knowledge of how to escape an attacker.
Absolutely.
And you pride yourself on not fighting back, but escaping. And what is the difference?
The huge difference basically is you can't teach somebody how to fight in a short amount of time. It takes years to be a proficient fighter, and most women don't want to be a proficient fighter. So the best really approach is to avoid and then to escape. Yep. And that's what we teach.
You know, and I think so many young women, well, 9 to 91, it doesn't matter what age you are nervous about their size. I mean, me, I think that I'm smaller, especially standing next to you.
And you're in heels.
And I'm in heels,
Yeah.
and I would think that I have no chance. But that's not the case.
Nope, we're teaching you how to escape. We're teaching all of them, and it has nothing to do with physical strength. So we're going to show you guys some great stuff.
And I heard that my size is actually like the perfect size.
Of course you're perfect size.
and to escape, but what makes me a good size?
You're petite. Okay. You're very petite. So when we're talking about people who might be afraid that they're not going to be able to get away, when they look at somebody like you who's petite, they know that they can do it. If you can do it, they can do it.
Absolutely. So let's demonstrate what move you taught me in the parking lot and show people how to escape that attacker.
Okay.
Sure.
So what I did was I put my hand around you like this, and I'm going to grab you. And the rule is you grab one finger and you peel the finger. So whenever you see a finger, you peel it and bend it back.
Right.
And in this case, to make me go down, point it towards my nose and just go keep
Oh.
And of course, I run the opposite direction.
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
And I really could take you down.
Absolutely, you did.
You know what happens, Chelsea? When you're doing it really fast and your adrenaline is going, you're going to snap that person's finger, and they're going to hit the ground in so much pain, you're going to be able to take off.
And one finger does the trick.
One
Absolutely.
finger does the trick. And what it does is it basically gives you time to get away. And that's what we're teaching, creating time to escape.
Time and distance.
Now, I always am conscious, you know, of course, like I was, you know, videoing myself with headphones, but what are some of the things that we do on a daily basis? We're walking down the street and we're not necessarily aware of our surroundings.
Well, but you're doing just that. You're on your phone looking down, you have your headset in your ears, and my gosh, we're passing people all the time that are walking and looking. It's like, pay attention, that's safety 101. You've got to be aware of your surroundings.
So important, especially if you're in a bustling city and there's people all around. Now, I know that I've been in certain situations where I am walking down the street and I kind of see someone out of the corner of my eye and I get a little nervous and I start walking faster. And if you think that they're going to be that attacker, how do you prevent the attack from happening?
Well, the first thing is another rule is basically you have to keep your distance and not let anybody get into your personal space. And we define personal space as anywhere between 7 and 10 feet away, because that attacker wants to get close so they can have an advantage and overpower you. And that's what you don't want. You want to keep distance. So the rule is do not let anybody get into your personal space. And the way we do that basically is you put your hand up.
Put your hand up. So if you were coming towards me, and this is even women coming and attacking women, if you were coming towards me and I didn't feel comfortable with you approaching me, I'd say, excuse me, can I help you? And you notice you're trying to look around my hand, and that's kind of the idea, because I want to intimidate you so you can't see me, because now you know I'm not an easy target, because I'm paying attention.
Your odds immediately go up when that person knows that you're not an easy target. So right away, you've improved your odds. The second thing it does is think about it, when she has her hand up, is there's somebody in the parking lot, and they see that, even if they didn't hear what she said, it's the universal language that says, hey, there's a potential problem. Most everybody has a cell phone. They'll call 911.
We know they all have a cell phone because they're all doing this. So now that they've seen that happen, they can call. They may not get involved.
It alerts the people in the public area too.
Absolutely.
So important. And you have so many great tips. Thank you both so much. Tracy and Charlie are actually going to be back later in the show to teach us more self-defense moves in any situation. Hey everyone, we're back with Tracy and Charlie from Simple Self-Defense for Women, and we're going to go through some moves of how to defend ourselves in case of an attack.
Right.
All right, what's our first move?
Okay, the first one's not so much an attack as maybe you're out and it's not life-threatening, but maybe you're uncomfortable, you're on a date, you know, or maybe you're with Uncle Bob at the family gathering, you know, it's maybe a little too touchy-feely. So let's just say he's putting his arm around you and you're like, you know, could you take your arm off of me? I've had enough, you know, stop. So what you're going to do, Chelsea, you're going to imagine Charlie wearing a bra, which he's not, but right about his seam of his shirt, you're going to take your finger, kind of like a girly fist, and you're going to push through, and you're going to say something, whatever you want to say to him.
Back off.
Right, something a little colorful, something just to get him away from you, but it kind of gets the point. And think about the women with nails. I mean, that hurts, right?
Exactly. I mean, because I was demonstrating it on myself earlier, and it's really painful.
Yeah,
not a big move, but so important because I've been in many situations where I just need to get the person off of me, and I don't know what to do.
Yep, and that gets the point across.
And it's so simple. Fist, nail, into the bra area, and push.
Right, right.
So simple.
Yep, that works. Okay, now the next one might happen. This is an attempted kidnapping. This is a much more serious situation. Somebody's going to grab you by the arm. It could be a child. It could be a, you know, boyfriend-girlfriend situation. But the most common way that they're going to grab you is by the arm because they want to pull you into a vehicle or pull you into an elevator. So we showed you how to get away earlier. Can you just go ahead and show them, and then we're going to explain what you did.
Step back and away.
Now, hopefully what's going to happen when we showed you, but what happened here is your natural reaction normally is to pull, right? And you can't get out. So what you're going to do instead is you're fighting just one finger because the way he's holding you, because you're going to bring your arm up through that gap, and he can't hold on. So with you, especially being petite, you want to do that, and you're going to take a step at the same time with the same leg and turn, and you're going to escape.
Run the opposite direction.
Exactly. Hopefully he'll trip and he'll fall because he's not expecting you to go. You've got the element of surprise on your side.
And all of these moves set you up so that you can run in the opposite direction.
And then when you're teaching children at home, which we'd like you to do, call this robot.
Right.
Kids love robot. It's easy for them to remember. It's fun, and when you're teaching them like that, they get it.
And people might say, what happens if they grab you a different way? If their thumb's down.
Right. Same thing. Follow his thumb.
And it's down.
Yep.
And back.
Right.
Very simple.
Okay, now you're going to go home. We want everybody in the audience to try this, right? Because you want to make sure they know what to do. So I'm going to have Charlie grab you again, but I'm going to give you a little tip here, Chelsea. So when you're going to just, you know, okay. So when Charlie grabs you this time, okay? So you
and
know
he's not letting me go.
Right. Right? Okay, because guys are super macho, right? They don't, I'm so glad somebody else did that. Because guys are so super macho. When you go home to try this, they're going to go, she's not getting out. So that extra little tap just breaks their concentration. You could give them a little tap on the leg or a tap in the belly, too, and that would work
I could totally see my brother going, you are not getting out of
there
this
you go.
grip.
There you go.
And that little element of surprise will totally catch them off guard.
It's fun. So.
And I think that that's a huge factor in simple self-defense moves as well.
Right.
A lot of the attackers are not expecting you to know what to do to escape.
Exactly, and that's the point of this. We want all women to know what to do so they don't have to be the victim of an attack.
Absolutely. Now this next one is a little gruesome, a little graphic, however, so important.
So important. So Chelsea, we've got to ask you to lay down on this one. So this, what would happen here is if Chelsea was going to be the victim of a sexual assault, her hands would most likely be pinned over her head. So she doesn't have a way to fight. So what we're going to ask her to do is lift one leg up, either leg, shift her weight a little bit, and right in the middle of Charlie's thigh, she's going to push as hard as she can. Right? And it throws him. That was great, Charlie.
And he totally flipped over.
He totally flipped off because your legs are super strong. And what's happening is Chelsea's just lifting her leg up slightly, setting it right in the middle of his thigh. And Charlie's like a tripod. So as soon as you take the weight off of his hands and his leg, he's got a tip. He doesn't have it anymore. So he rolls away. And if this is happening outside, we're hoping that he's going to fall and smack his head on something. If it's happening inside, we're hoping that he's going to be hitting his head on the nightstand or the windowsill.
And it's amazing that that leg move is so powerful enough to be able to get you out of that move.
Most women have incredibly strong legs anyway. It's very powerful, and they just fly right off because, again, they're not expecting it.
Right. Now, you're educating people on simple self-defense moves, but if that freeze or flight thing happens to you and you're, standing there, how do you escape that mentality and instead allow yourself to know what to do?
Well, that's why we want you to know in advance. We want women to learn these things. We don't teach a lot of moves. We keep it very simple. So there's a few moves that you can learn. You practice them, and then you're not going to be freezing up. You may hesitate for a minute like you did on the video clip, but then you'll go, I know how to do do that.
And do you advise people to practice?
Absolutely, and women have a lot of fun practicing. They do. It's a good thing to do, and you'll practice it a couple times. Make sure you know what to do it. Refresh yourself.
And I think it's so empowering knowing what to do in a scary situation like this, that maybe once you practice a little bit these moves, you know, if that ever happens to you, you'll be more prepared
You'll
with
be more
what to
prepared.
do.
And we give you a couple of different things that you can do when we're talking to people. We give you, if the first one doesn't work, maybe it's slipped out of your mind, you go right to the next one and the next one works. So there's multiple ways that you can escape.
And how important is being verbal as well as being physical?
Women are very verbal, you know that. Charlie's laughing. But that's what happens. I mean, people will say yell, scream, fight. We don't give you a script. We don't want you to have to remember it. Whatever you feel comfortable saying, that's what you want to do.
And I love learning these moves so much that we're actually going to do a few more moves in web exclusives. So tune in to the website chelseakrost.com to see more exclusives with Tracy and Charlie. Thank you to all my guests. To find out more about today's show, go to our website. Keep sending me pictures and messages via social media, and be sure to check out theresumebear.com. Quick tip of the week.